Hey everyone, my name's Alan Thrall, and I squat too deep. Hey everyone, this video is going to be a bit different than most of my other squat videos on this channel. I'm usually giving you guys tips about how to increase your squat depth. For those of you who squat higher than a kite, I'm sure they're helpful. However, I want to talk about why squatting too low is a problem that I have, and what I am doing to fix it. I recently reached out to a starting strength coach named Austin Baraki. The short story of my current situation is that I'm stuck. I don't know what to do from here. I have been all over the place for the past year now. I need to learn more. I need to improve the efficiency of my lifts and my programming. I enjoyed listening to and watching some of Austin's content. He has an incredible ability to coach. His lifting style is very close to mine, or at least where I would like to be. He's not on a bunch of drugs, so his programming advice is a little more directed, if you will. And he understands how to take my squat from low fives to eventually 600 pounds, because he's done it himself. Hopefully in the future, when I have some notable progress, I can get Austin on this channel to talk more about this training process. For now, I want to talk about my squat depth and a couple of other changes that Austin is making to my low bar squat. Hopefully, they can help you as well. For starters, proper depth is reached when the crease of the hips goes below the top of the kneecap. Ideally, a good squat would be no more and no less than that. For powerlifters, this is a rule that you have to obey. For any of you just training for strength in general, proper depth is still important. This is the depth at which you have fully engaged the muscles of your hips. It is also the point in which you can utilize the stretch reflex or the natural bounce out of the hole. High squats prioritize your quads and force your knees to stop and reverse momentum back up. This is not what we want. Now, many of you seem to think that the deeper the squat, the better. That is not the case. Some of you see my squat and think that it's perfect because I bury it.
Yeah. Dang, now that's a squat.
I don't squat as deep as physically possible because I think that's how a real squat should be performed. Some people have even called me a show-off. I don't squat that low because I'm trying to prove a point. I don't squat that deep for any other reason than that's just the way I have always squatted. Years ago, when I first started squatting, I went as low as I could. I have been squatting that low ever since. Some people have said that I should probably cut my depth a bit, and my response has always been the same. This is just the way I've always done it. It's comfortable for me. That bounce at the bottom helps. Well, I've come to realize that if I want to improve my squat, I need to become more efficient. Using the low bar squat ass to grass bounce to make the squat easier will only take me so far. Now I need to get stronger, not just bounce harder. Let's take a closer look at my ass to grass low bar squats. I've achieved proper depth at this point. The only thing going on within this range of motion is me relaxing at the bottom and bouncing back up. I'm not using my strength to move the barbell. I'm using momentum to move the barbell. I am essentially sidestepping tension and strength and relying on the bounce. This is not going to make me better. Dive bombing my squat is also throwing off my balance. As soon as the momentum that I've generated out of the hole stops, I'm left finding my balance and reacting to wherever the bar ends up. If you have read Starting Strength, you know the first rule of the squat, deadlift, and the press is to move the barbell in a straight vertical line over midfoot. This is not over midfoot. So, relying on momentum and losing balance is not going to allow me to squat bigger weights. On top of all of that, it is impossible to maintain overall body tightness when I squat that low. The tension in my hamstrings and hips is gone out the window. Notice my knees and hips shooting forward. Austin refers to this as not staying in your hips. Now already since I've made these couple of changes, a few people have asked me how to cut depth. If you're used to slamming your hamstrings on your calves, it can be a difficult task to start reversing the barbell earlier. So how do you know where proper depth is? First off, I personally don't think that squatting to a box or a big BOSU exercise ball like some of you have suggested is a good idea. A box is not going to allow you to utilize the natural bounce that occurs when your hamstrings snap back. And putting a big blow-up ball under your butt while squatting just looks stupid. Millions of people have learned how to squat to proper depth without a box or a ball. You can too. Second, you're going to have to lighten the weights to something that you can control. Third, Austin said that because I am used to squatting all the way down, I should exaggerate by imagining I'm cutting my squat above proper depth. This is exactly what I did, and each rep felt high at first, but the camera reassured me that I was in fact hitting proper depth. Lastly, if you read Starting Strength, you will learn the importance of feeling the stretch reflex in your hamstrings. Similar to how you know exactly when to reverse the bar on the bench press without actually having to watch the bar touch your chest, you can feel when it's time. I pay attention to the tension in my hamstrings as well as when my midsection comes in contact with my thighs. Obviously, your anthropometry and belly size are going to affect this feedback, but it's what works for me. Now, too much depth is not my only problem. There are a few others, so I would like to make this a mini-series about the adjustments that Austin and I are making to my squat. I'll post another video next week and the week after that about torso position for the low bar squat and the importance of the relationship between the hips and knees. Also, why the heck am I looking down? Stay tuned and always remember, tread on time.